Yeah, 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 hey. Yo, what is up? It is Ethan or Vice HD here, back with another video. Today we are going to be setting up the Arcade1Up PacMan machine. Now, I heard about this a couple days ago. Let's just say that I have always been obsessed with arcade games, especially the claw machine. When I was younger, I used to be addicted to those things and I would play them all the time. And my dream was to have an arcade in my room. Unfortunately, they don't have a claw machine, but they do have the next best thing, which is a PacMan machine. Now, we got this thing from Walmart, the only place that has the PacMan one. Target and Best Buy, and there's other places have the other ones, but Walmart's the only one that has PacMan. So if you haven't heard about this, it's a miniature PacMan and it's supposed to look just like the real thing and play like the real thing. This thing is 4 feet tall and it has a 17-inch LCD screen. Now they're saying that the setup time is about 30 minutes, so my goal is to try and beat that, but I don't know how that's gonna work with me recording and doing it at the same time. But without further ado, let's go ahead and open this thing up so we can see what's all inside. Okay, so I'm gonna see how I get this out of here. Now this thing is kind of heavy, and well, it's really just an awkward shape. Now, I'm hearing that a lot of people are saying that this is not like the real one, but for what you pay, it's pretty awesome. Because if you want to get an actual PacMan machine, they're about $3 grand. Well, we got this thing for 300 bucks. A lot of people got them for a lot cheaper on Black Friday, but I didn't know about it back then. Right up in here, let's see if we can get an angle on that. You got all the stuff that is inside. I've seen some videos on it, and you don't have to do any of the electrical work. All it is just really assembling the stuff. So let's see how easy it is. Okay, so let's get all this foam out of here first. Now, I saw one video of somebody who had theirs and their screen was damaged. So hopefully that's not the case for me. And if not, I'm sure that they will just be able to send a new one. And also, I don't know if these things are limited edition, because I went to their website and it didn't, well, first of all, it didn't advertise PacMan on here, which was really interesting because that's probably their #1 seller. And also, they don't sell them on their website. When you hit shop, it just directs you to all the different websites that sell them. So here's the main pieces. Wow, this is so cool. Now, the only thing with this is, since it's 4 feet, you're not gonna be able to stand up and play this. But what they did was they made something that's sold separately. It's called a 1-up riser. Unfortunately, I was not able to buy one because they were sold out everywhere. And it's a little pricey. It was $40, but I was reading the reviews on them and people were saying that it is so worth it to buy it, because otherwise, well, I'll show a picture of what it looks like with the riser and without it. Because with the riser, it adds another foot, so it'll make the machine 5 feet tall rather than 4 feet. So most people can be able to stand up and play it rather than sitting down. Okay, so I'm assuming one of these is going to be the screen. And I'm going to bet anything that it's the one that's got fragile written on it. So let's go ahead and open that one up first. Okay, so let's open this up carefully, because I'm sure this is the LCD screen. Either this or it's the one with the joystick and buttons. Okay, so yep, that definitely is the screen. Okay, so right here we got the screen. And actually, let me go ahead and just put this on a table. Okay, so now that I'm feeling a little more comfortable with it on the table, let's go ahead and take this stuff off. So there's the screen. Looks good to me. Don't see any markings on it. So first, we're gonna need the side of the machine. So let's go ahead and get this out of the package. Now right off the bat, it looks really good. There's a couple scratches on here, and that's not really that big of a deal. And what I like what they did was they actually put things on the bottom of this, so if you have it on wood floors, it won't scratch it up. And what I really wanted was the riser for this thing. But like I said earlier, I can't seem to find it anywhere. So I'm probably just gonna build one myself.
I'm just gonna make one myself.
Let's go ahead and get this other one out of the package. Okay, so hopefully this one isn't scratched up. This one looks really good. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna go ahead and get all the pieces out and unpackaged so I can just go ahead and start building them up. These should be the supports for the actual body itself. And one of these, I think it's this one, has all the buttons and the joystick. Let's put this to the side. Alright, so this is the last box right here. So this one should be all the support. Actually, my bad. This one is the joystick and the whole gamepad. So this is the whole control panel right here. It's got the volume, the on and off switch, the start games, and all the other buttons that you need along with the joystick. And so this is what makes the 1UP thing so great. Not only is it an insane price for an arcade machine, but also they've already done all the hard stuff for you. So all you have to do is just build up the cabinet part and plug it in. This is all the wiring we have to do. That is nothing. Now there has been complaints that there's only one speaker. I don't know why people are complaining about that. Obviously the machine's a lot smaller than a real one. And I've also heard complaints that this isn't exactly like the old one. But once again, this is only $300, not $3,000. So this bag right here is all the parts that we need to use to build this up. And clearly that is not a lot. And there's actually a lot of extra parts. So this right here obviously goes on the joystick. And this is what's used to hold the machine together along with these screws. So let's go ahead and get all these screws out. This is where it plugs in. And right here is where it plugs into the LCD screen, which I showed earlier. And this runs down through the back. And obviously this plugs into the wall. And these are for the LCD screen, so it's connected to the cabinet. And this obviously goes on the joystick, so you don't see inside there. And like I said, they have given us a lot of extra screws just in case we lose some. So once again, these are all the parts that we need to use, which still is mind-boggling because this is like nothing. Like anybody can set this up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is finish the joystick. So obviously you're just gonna put this down in here and try not to drop that. And right here is a screw. So all it does is just screw right into this. Oh, you can see my reflection. So just like that, the joystick is done. And let's see how, it's not bad. I think that's pretty good. All right, now to get to the building part. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the one that is labeled G. This is gonna be like the base. And you're gonna get 4 of these wooden bits right here. And on the sides, there are 2 holes on the left and right. You're gonna put them in the one inside to both. And then on the other side, you're gonna do exactly the same thing. Now, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is grab one of the sides. Once you grab one of these, get G, make sure that this indents is down here. And then you're gonna put it into these holes right in here. And then to secure it in there, lean it like this. So once you get it into those holes, you're gonna wanna try to keep them in there and then get these, and then you're gonna wanna screw these in here and hand tighten it first, just so you don't crack it. And then once you start it, you can go ahead and get your screwdriver and then finish it off. And once you got that side, you're gonna do the same with the other side. And if you're like me and there's only one person building this, just grab one of the foam blocks that it came with and put it under here to keep it stable. And obviously when you put it on, make sure that you have it facing the right way. So once again, start it with a hand tighten and then use your screwdriver to finish it. Congratulations, you just finished the hardest part. Okay, so now you're gonna get the 2 Ks and the L, and you're gonna use these wooden bits to put in the sides. Now the Ks are gonna be on the inside, so this is why it's that bland color. But the L, however, one side's white, the other side's black, and that's because you're gonna see this on the back top part. So make sure when you put it in, you have the black part showing. Okay, so once you have put all the wooden things into the pieces, we're ready to put them into the machine. And then of course we will screw them in so they stay in there. Okay, so the first one we're gonna put in is L. And like I said earlier, make sure the black side faces that way. So what we're gonna do is have it to where the white's up, and then we're gonna put it into these holes right here. And then with the K's, we're gonna put them right here and then right at the bottom. So we'll do the bottom one first, and then the top one. And then once you have them in there, you're gonna put screws on both sides into these 3 holes. So we're gonna be using the B ones. So as always, hand tighten them first, and then we're gonna do that to the other side. Now that we've hand tightened them, we can now tighten them with the screwdriver, and make sure you hold these 2 together. And then when you do this, instead of going to the next one, do the one directly behind it. Next, we're gonna do the bottom middle one, and then go to the other side and do it. And then lastly, the top middle one. Okay, now it's time to mess with this screen. So we're gonna flip it over carefully, get this out of the way, and then you're gonna grab these and tear these open, and then grab these little screws. Okay, now you're gonna get these and you're gonna put them this corner right here for these 2 holes, and then you're gonna put them on these 2 holes right here. And when you tighten them down, make sure you do it very gently because you don't want to obviously crack the screen. Now normally I would say to hand tighten these first, but since they're so little, I can't get my hands in there. So make sure you just gently start it with the screwdriver. Okay, so once you finally got them started, this was honestly the hardest part because it was so hard to get these screws into here. So once you get those started, make sure you finish them off, but make sure you just don't do it too hard, otherwise you'll crack the screen. Alright, so now once you got them tightened in, you just completed the hardest task of this whole building process. Okay, so now you're going to take that LCD screen, put it into this slot right here on D. Once you got it in there, you can go ahead and tighten it down, but we're gonna have to flip it over before we do that. Okay, so once you flip it over, you're gonna take the same screws and you're gonna screw them into here. Try to hand tighten them. If not, then be very gentle with a screwdriver. Okay, and once you got the bottom ones, you're gonna have to get the top ones, which is the fun part. To make it easier on myself, I'm gonna flip it over. Okay, so now that I got it flipped over, I'm gonna attempt to screw these things in. Start by hand tightening them. This is actually surprisingly easier than the other side. Once you got them in there, just screw it in. Alright, now that I got screwed in there, this LCD screen is almost done. Alright, so now we're gonna get the little top part of it, which in this case, it's PacMan. And we're gonna put those wooden things into the sides of these, and then on the other side. Now this is gonna go on the top of the machine, just like in a real one, like the light part. Okay, so now we're gonna take this top part and we're gonna put it right here. This is the little decoration bit. In a real PacMan machine, this would be lit up, but in this case, it's not. Okay, so we're gonna put them into these 3 holes right here. And then of course the middle one will screw in with a B one. Alright, once you got it in how you like it, now we put in the screw. And you guessed it, we're gonna hand tighten it first. And then we're gonna do the same to the other side. And then we're gonna finish it with the screwdriver. And with the other side. So now once you got it in there, it should be looking like this. Okay, so next you're gonna flip the machine around. And then you're gonna grab H. And make sure you put it in this way. And you're just gonna slide it into these little crevices right here. If you need to, you can loosen up the sides. Alright, now that you've loosened up both the sides, you should now be able to slide it in a lot easier than before. Once you got that in, of course, go ahead and tighten back up the sides. Alright, once you've tightened up the sides, it should be sturdy. Alright, now we're getting to the fun part. This is where you put the PacMan logo up front so it hides all of this. So what you're going to do is just get it right on the sides. You should see that there is a vertical groove going all the way down. This is so that you can slide it down without having to put any screws in. Now that you got that part in, it's starting to look like the actual machine. Now that we've got this in, it's time to put all the electrical work in, which is very simple. Now that we've got this in, we're gonna put the little panel right here to hide this, and then we'll put the joystick stuff up here. So for this, once again, just like we did with the front part, you're gonna grab panel J and then just slide it down. And once again, this doesn't require any screws or anything. And this is a little wobbly, but once we get the joysticks and stuff up here, it should keep it stable and it won't move. Okay, so before we put in the joystick, let's remove this little protective cover. Otherwise, we won't be able to get it out once we put it in. So for all of you people that love oddly satisfying stuff, here you go. It is a little dirty, so I'm gonna clean that off later. But before that, let's go ahead and put in the joystick and buttons. So to do this, it's very simple. See this little attachment right here? This thing right here that's attached to the monitor plugs right into this. So just like that, it's all wired up. And then of course we're gonna place it down in here, and then we'll put in some screws and this part will be done. So once again, we're gonna be using our favorite B screws to put this thing in here. And then of course, as you guys know now, hand tighten it first. And once you've hand tightened those, you can go ahead and get your screwdriver and finish them off. All right, now that those are in, this is sturdy, and along with this bottom part, which I mentioned earlier. So now we're almost done. Okay, so now for the easiest wiring you'll ever do in your life. You're gonna grab the wires that are labeled X, aka the ones without the plug in it. And then you're gonna grab this end right here, and you're gonna go under this so it stays inside of the cabinet, and plug it right up here into the LCD monitor. So now that you've got that ran all the way through here, we're gonna put the back of this on, and then we're gonna have this come to here, and then the rest of the wire will go in, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we're gonna grab this back part right here. So that's why I said earlier to make sure that this goes this way. That way, this slides right into it. So you're gonna line it up, and before you slide it in, have this wire ready, and then feed it through this hole right here, just enough to where you can grasp it, and then slide it down. What you're going to do is get this white part right here, and just kind of push it in here so that it stays there. And then you got a little extra wire, so when you plug it into an outlet. So there's gonna be little holes amongst this thing. The majority of them are up here. And of course, these holes are gonna be used to keep this thing in place. So we'll just screw those in real quick. Okay, so we're gonna put 3 E-screws, and unfortunately I only have 2, but luckily they sent extras. So we're gonna put one there, and then one down here. As always, start by hand tightening them and then finish it off with the screwdriver. All right, it's time to put in the last and final screw. Of course, we're gonna hand tighten it and then finish it off with the screwdriver. Now for the last, and bear with me, this is the most difficult step we've done yet. That's why they made it the last step. You're gonna grab the other wire, the one that plugs into the wall, take off this. Watch closely, you might have to replay this step a few times, but you're gonna grab this end and this one, and then carefully, you're going to plug it in like that. And we're done, that's it. All right, so it is finished, and now to turn it on. Wow, the speakers are loud. Okay, so the volume can go down and up. That's obviously as loud as it goes. So let's see what it's like when it's on low. Let's actually restart it so we know what it sounds like when it starts up. Okay, so I guess it doesn't make any noise when the volume's down low. Press to continue. Okay, yeah, I guess this is without volume, so let's turn the volume back on. Oh. Okay, so I guess it's either volume up or no volume at all. So this is without volume, and volume with it is really loud. So I kind of wish that there was an option to where you can have volume more quiet, because this is really loud. Okay, so with this machine, it actually came with PacMan and PacMan Plus. So I don't know how to get to the PacMan Plus, but let's see. I don't know, maybe if we restart it. But yeah, that is really loud. Like, the sound on this thing is insane. So everybody who's been complaining about there only being one speaker, I don't know why they're complaining, because that is really loud. All right, let's see. Oh, okay, so when you're at the start screen, so you can go down to PacMan Plus. So let's go ahead and start that. And you have an option to do 2 players. So obviously I'm just doing 1 for now. And then so you can choose which one you want. And with this one, so instead of getting cherries, you can get a Coke bottle. And when you eat the big pellet, the ghost actually don't blank out for that long. And actually some of them don't even blank out at all. So this is different. It's kind of cool what they did with it. So it's different from the original one. And it's cool how they also kept the original one in it. Alright, so I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, make sure you hit that like button. And subscribe if you are new here. And I would definitely recommend going out and buying one of these if you can. It's definitely worth the price. And I wish I can get the riser. I'm going to keep looking for it online in other places. But if not, I'm just going to build a box or something that I can put it on. So yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if you use this to build it, I hope it was very helpful. Alright, see you guys hopefully very soon, and Happy New Year.
She took my heart and left me lonely. I think broken hearts contagious. I won't fix, I'd rather we